Well, let's now cross over to Mariam Zaidi. She's joining me in Brussels. Mariam, even before he makes that announcement, though, leaders are already reacting, many reiterating their commitment to the pact. What is the feeling from Europe?
Hi, Beatrice. Well, it was a funny day in Brussels yesterday, just as journalists were sitting down to a briefing previewing the EU-China summit, where we were told one of the main goals was a reaffirmation from both the EU and China to the Paris Climate Change Agreement. News then broke that the US was set to back out. And then, as ever, moments later came the tweet from US President Trump that he will make up his mind next week, possibly on Thursday, as to whether the US would withdraw or not. Now, really, this became a bit of a strange moment. No doubt both sides, the EU and China, will be scrambling to see what now needs to be done to contain the fallout of a US pullout. But what we do know is that this agreement by China and the EU was drafted before they knew the US was likely to pull out, so they haven't planned for that. But in any case, the two sides are remaining committed, and they say they won't be affected by any US pullout. The EU official yesterday added that a US pullout makes it ever more important that the two sides show their commitment to it, and that the Paris Agreement continues with full legal force even if the US does in fact pull out.
Well, Mariam, this has been making the headlines for the last couple of days. So what exactly is the climate deal about?
Sure. Well, to give it a bit of context, from the Pope to G7 leaders, even to Trump's daughter, all have been trying to get Trump to stay on board with the Paris Agreement. It doesn't seem as if they have been that successful. Now, what the Paris Agreement is a legally binding commitment to limit global warming well below 2 degrees centigrade. Now, it was really hailed as a success of diplomacy with China and the US, two of the world's biggest emitters, leading the push. Now, it was never meant to really result in immediate reductions, but lays the foundations for the future. Now, if the US does withdraw, that would only really take effect from 2020, but in withdrawing, it would put the USA on the same list as just a handful of countries like Iran, Russia, North Korea, who are not in it. Now, the irony also of Trump tweeting or signing his tweet to say that it would make America great again is that it might actually have the polar opposite effect and turn out to be one of the biggest failures of US diplomacy.
Right, Mariam Zaidi there joining us from Brussels. Thank you.